My name is Priscilla Lynch. I'm a resident of Conway, Massachusetts, and I'm here at Greenfield Community College for the open house involving the Kinder Morgan pipeline. I'm here to say no to the pipeline for many, many reasons. One of them being the environment. We don't need to be digging up and creating big swaths of land for the pipeline and interfering with the natural resources. But we also don't need to be giving another big corporate giveaway here, and that's what this is another big corporate grab. I'm done with that stuff. I think most of us are. The profits, resources are here for us, for the people, and they're not for the corporations to exploit us, take our money to build these things, and then exploit us and send that gas elsewhere. There's no reason for this pipeline. We need renewable resources. We know it. The only reason this is being pushed so far is for the corporations to make money off of us. I think we need to say no, and I'm here to say no.
How does Conway feel as a town?
Well, I believe as a town, Conway is very much opposed to the pipeline. I know that the pipeline, the compressor station was originally planned for pretty much in my own backyard. And I don't need that near me. I'm into being safe. I've paid for my land, paid for my home. I'm a good neighbor. I'm a good citizen. I don't need to be abused by a corporation so they can make profits.
Hello, my name is Alexander Hansinger. I'm a student here at GCC and a resident of Western Mass, and I'm a very strong negator of the pipeline. I believe that burning fuels will not and will never be sustainable. I think pipelines are extremely dangerous that transport these fuels because they are extremely difficult to regulate, and spills are almost indetectable for insurmountable amounts of time. It's very dangerous for the health of the planet and for us ourselves. Fracking practices that this pipeline is distributing shoot uranium into the depths of the planet and pollute groundwater. The people here that are forcing this pipeline, it is a profit-driven and has no regards for humanity or the survival of the planet. I'm 21 years old.
And what are you studying here at GCC?
I am a liberal arts major. I'm hopefully planning on transferring for an anthropology undergrad.
So is this your second year?
Yes.
And do you look into the environmental clubs or anything like that?
I'm active in the community, I would say. I don't belong to anything specific, but I think I'm among many youth in the area and many older who strongly disbelieve in this project, for sure.
And so why are you here tonight?
Oh, I just got out of class and I saw that there was this pipeline being promoted, and I got pissed off. And one of the representatives over here told me that I asked him if he knew how much solar panels would take to provide the world with electricity, and that's a 0.01%. And that apparently is an unsustainable practice, but digging deep into the depths of the planet for fuels that do not re-emerge instantaneously. We have a sun, and we have a lot of electricity available. And I don't think we need to burn toxic fuels to do so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My name is Frances Crowe. I'm from Northampton, Massachusetts. And I think we ought to leave the gas and oil in the ground. We don't need it. We can manage very well with solar in this state. And if we put wind power off the coast of Massachusetts, we have more than enough energy to fuel all of the citizens' needs and the industrial needs of the state. There is no reason to have Kinder Morgan in our state.
My name's Annika Corbett. I am from Florence, Massachusetts. I'm against the pipeline. I feel that fracking gas is contributing to global warming. Global warming is occurring at a great rate, more than we want, and we have to do everything we can to stop it. and building this infrastructure that is going to bring gas from one place to another and maybe not even be for the U.S., we don't want it. It's a piece of thing that we could do without. We need more solar, we need more wind, we need more renewables.
I'm Marcia Gagliardi from Athol, Massachusetts, and I'm here at the Kinder Morgan Open House at Greenfield Community College on February 5th, 2015. And I am just blown away by the number of people in blue shirts who are walking around here with all kinds of facts and figures about the Kinder Morgan, Tennessee gas pipeline. Out in the hall, we also have videos shown by Hattie Nessel of Athol, and on those videos we have people telling about what it would be like to have a pipeline go through their lovely backyard here in north central Massachusetts or southern New Hampshire. And we have Representative Jim McGovern telling us why the pipeline is a bad idea. And all kinds of other excitement is going on here tonight, and Hattie is going to cover it all. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nancy First. I live in Northampton. I'm a member of the Quaker meeting there. I've been a Quaker since I was 26 years old. I think that this pipeline, while it may have been a good idea in the beginning in some ways, it has turned out to be something which is not needed. It's not needed for energy. It's not needed because of the destruction it's causing to put that pipeline in. And as far as jobs go, there are many, many jobs that people can find that are going to assist the environment. This is not one of them. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Lance. I'm from Northampton, Massachusetts. It's not too far from part of this proposed pipeline area. I'm here on so many levels of interest in this and concern. First of all, we don't need any more gas to come out of the earth. We need no more fossil fuels. We have plenty of renewable energy that we could harness and use without touching any of that dirty stuff. Consequently, it's a sin to think of tearing up pristine land, farmland, everything of that nature, and digging a hole and putting a pipe in it that is going to leak, that is going to spread poison, that is going to leave toxins. It's a sin. And then to crown it all, I understand this is going over to the coast, and most of this gas that is being piped over there will probably be exported out of this country. And meanwhile, we're wrecking our backyard, our fertile land, for something that is not only is not needed, it is will destroy our planet, our home, the earth, further. So that's why I'm here.
My name's Renee Anderson. I'm from Northampton, and this is my co-journey woman.
Jessica Rosenberg from Greenfield.
So how do I feel about the pipeline? I have 3 grandchildren.
And I have 2.
Do you?
Yeah.
And so isn't this why we're here?
Exactly.
What
Yes.
is it you worry about?
I worry about their water and their land and their vegetables being poisoned. And I've seen evidence in other places with fracked mines that it's certainly a real possibility that can happen.
I'm so interested in the 7 generations idea, the idea that even if it's not my grandchildren, it could be their grandchildren. But the inevitability of this just frightens me so much.
And it could be us and our friends. It could happen sooner rather than later.
Well, it's already poisoning us, we know that. We know that. But I'm worried that this will not be a habitable planet if we continue the direction we're going in.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie Eisman, and I live in Cummington. I'm with the Massachusetts Pipeline Awareness Network, and I'm here mostly to hear what FERC has to say in answer to various people's questions. People have concerns about the notice that they have received or not received, especially if they live near a compressor station. And I want to make sure people get accurate information from everyone here. So that's one of the main reason I'm here.
What can you tell us about a compressor station?
The compressor stations that are planned for Northfield and Windsor in western Massachusetts are slated to be 80,000 horsepower, which is far larger than the existing compressor stations that TGP has in Massachusetts right now. They have one that's about 2,000, so this is 40 times bigger. And people need to know that these are loud industrial complexes that release natural gas into the atmosphere and also have light pollution associated with them. And this is just one of the aspects of this whole project that does not get a lot of coverage.
How many acres would they cover?
A minimum of 10, but they've slated a minimum of 10 acres is what the papers that have been filed say, although some of the papers and when we talk to the company, they say they really would like 50 to 75 acre parcels for the compressor stations.
In your work, what have you been doing to oppose FERC? Repeat my question.
I have been doing a lot to educate people about how to comment in the FERC process, and I've been writing letters to newspapers and had some op-eds published, and have been providing information to residents and towns and different organizations who are engaged in different parts of the fight. People in sustainable energy, people in land trusts, and just regular landowners and citizens across the state, and also talking to people in New Hampshire who are starting to get more informed about the proposal. Thanks.
Hi, so my name is Jeff Singleton. That's the first thing I'm supposed to mention, right? Okay, and I live in Montague Center, and I'm also on the Montague Energy Committee, which our main focus is not primarily about issues involving natural gas pipelines, but we have actually been discussing the pipeline over the past 6 months a lot. We've interacted a lot with the State Department of Public Utilities and Executive Office of Environmental Affairs and our state senators and legislators about this. And after a lot of discussion and debate on the Energy Committee, and there were different opinions, and there are people who support the need for more natural gas capacity, we took a stand against the pipeline and voted against the pipeline to oppose it. Right now we're attempting to put some time, I think we're going to put some time into evaluating the report that came out from the state that was completed in December and released in early January. That was a high stakes report that it's called the Low Demand Study is the name of it. And it was something that we advocated and wanted to see happen. And it came out, and the findings were that we do need new natural gas capacity, pipeline capacity, in order to meet the need between now and 2030, actually, is there. So we're looking at that. We're trying to evaluate that. We're looking at the criticisms of that report, and we're going to try to put our heads down and see what we think about it and serve as a venue for people to look at that. We think it's an important piece of the puzzle, an important part of the question, the technical side, and that's what I'm very committed to doing, and that's what I wanted to do. Personally, my personal opinion is that I voted against the pipeline, and I'm going to read the study, and I'm going to read and follow the evidence on this, but it's going to take a fair amount of convincing for me to support a pipeline, essentially to tear up the farms and fields of Franklin County, and also to lock us into another form of greenhouse gas, permanent infrastructure for what amounts to 20 to 30 peak days in the winter. I mean, we're really talking about, at least according to even this report, we're talking about building this thing for maximum 1 month out of the year. And it's going to take a lot to convince me that that's worth doing.
And there's no fracking under our land, where pipelines are banned and our children can stand free from harm. That's our simple demand. No pipelines for us. Cross our state and we'll make a great fuss. We'll keep them all out. We'll rage and we'll shout. Mother Earth still comes first for us. There are so many ways to make power these days. From the wind and the sun, don't you see? Let's stop hydro-fracking and mountaintop hacking. Let's treat the earth as it should be. No pipelines are goal to keep our earth healthy and whole. We'll come here to say, no fracking, no way. Mother Earth still comes first, pole to pole.
Hi, my name is Julia Blythe. I'm from Northfield, Massachusetts, and I'm opposing this pipeline because of the environmental damage it would do in the corridor where they're clearing trees and possible erosion during construction, and also because they're proposing to install a large compressor station, 80,000 horsepower, probably within a mile of my house, and I'm worried about the noise that this is going to be. I mean, it will be very noisy near my home. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Daria Fisk. I live here in Greenfield, and I'm here because I'm so concerned about global warming. I'm so concerned about fracking and about us spoiling the earth, honestly. I'm just here to count my voice in and also sing about this with the Raging Grannies, and to stand up and be counted, and to let Kinder Morgan know that we're not gonna stand idly by and just wait around for them to do whatever they feel like.
I'm Laurel Facey. I live in Wendell, and the pipeline does not go through Wendell as per planned, but it goes through Warwick, Northfield, and north into New Hampshire. And nearby is the compressor station. Well, actually, in Northfield, the compressor station is planned. And my biggest fear is the pollution from the compressor station. They're assuring me over there that the pipelines are stainless steel and they won't leak, and they're much better than those put in the ground 50 years ago. But the compressor stations are not safe. They have explosions. There have been so many. 1.5 weeks. Okay, every 1.5 weeks there's an explosion or a major problem with this technology. So, they tell you how safe it is, but I don't trust it, and I'm sorry. It's not good enough for me.
Carol Fuller. I live here in Greenfield, and I have not seen answers to questions that I don't even know are being asked about resources that are finite, and what happens to this thing in 35 years when it's obsolete. Is it a rusting hulk on the land? And why are we not talking about any kind of conservation, because no matter how many pipelines you build, eventually it'll come to a halt? And are the people in the state who are ratepayers going to end up helping to pay for this monstrosity to boot, whether or not they're going to use it? So it's unfortunate that we are living in an oligarchy now, and this will probably go through, but I think it's a bad idea.
My name's Virginia Hastings. I live in Northfield, Massachusetts. Needless to say, I'm totally opposed to the pipeline for reasons of our future. We need to not use fossil fuels. We need to rely on alternative methods. The best thing we can do is conservation. That is number one. This pipeline room full of tall blue men is overwhelming to me. They are intimidating all of us by their confidence in the way this pipeline they project to have here in our community is going to ruin our community. environmentally, health-wise, for our future of our kids, our grandkids, and future generations.
Okay, so we came tonight to let people know that the pipeline is just totally absurd. It's a hoax being played on the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So I'm here as part of the Western Massachusetts gaggle of raging grannies to sing about alternatives, to expose the folly that anyone who believes that the answer to our energy needs is in fracked gas. First of all, that's a mistake. And secondly, this pipeline is going to come through the Commonwealth is their plan, but we're not going to let it happen. But their plan is not just to heat us, not for us to have energy, but they're going to export it. So across the Commonwealth, we say no to the pipeline.
My name is Ben Walker. I'm a junior, a third year at Amherst College in Amherst, Massachusetts. And I'm coming out tonight with a group of friends just to learn what exactly is happening in our area. It's very easy when you're a college student, get sort of absorbed with your classwork, absorbed with the college bubble. But as a student of the environment, I recognize that environmental problems are something that affects everyone, and not only in your community, but beyond, in your state, in your country, and in the whole world. So I'm curious to hear more tonight about how real people are being affected by a pipeline that is driven by profit and that doesn't have the people's interest at heart. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Brian Beatty. I'm a student at Amherst College. I don't know much about the pipeline, which is why I'm here, kind of learning about it. But I am opposed to shale gas extraction, and the idea that we're going to be building a pipeline through Massachusetts to funnel shale gas is pretty absurd to me, so I'm kind of curious to see what will happen.
Good evening. My name is Moonlight Davis, and I live in Irving. And although Kinder Morgan is not coming across my property where I live on the Miller River. And if they intend to get anywhere near the Miller River, it's going to contaminate the river from one side to the other, right into the Connecticut. I also feel that it's a little bit of governmental bullying, because they know that there are a number of us that have trouble with the whole Kinder Morgan thing, and yet nothing seems to stop Kinder Morgan from moving forward. And that, I think, is wrong. Corporations are not people. We are people.
Sandra Boston from Greenfield, Massachusetts, and I'm here tonight as a citizen of Massachusetts to make my will known to the Federal Nuclear Regulatory Commission that I do not approve of this pipeline because I have not been persuaded that it's needed, and I think it's unconscionable to take land from private citizens for something that is for private corporate profit. And the idea that we should be expected to pay for this thing reminds me of when they wanted to pay for the Vietnam War by putting a tax on our phone bills. And we all said, wait a minute, this isn't for the phone. We're not going to pay it. And we simply didn't pay it. And I hope that's what we end up doing here. And I hope they end up having to pay royalty to anybody whose land they cross if they ever get away with this. And I think it's time for us to say that we can create more jobs by switching away from fossil fuels than we can create jobs by perpetuating it.
Hi, my name is Nan Wojcicki. I live in Turners Falls, Massachusetts. I'm here to see what FERC and Kinder Morgan has to say about the gas pipeline that they want to put through New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. I'm opposed to the pipeline because it's not only bad for Massachusetts, it's wrong. Natural gas is highly flammable, extremely volatile. It's not a stable gas. They want to put the pipes through areas of protected conservation land, wetlands, wet woodlands, under the rivers. They're telling us they're going to put, I asked how many feet under the rivers are they putting these pipes? 30 to 40 feet. Only 30 to 40 feet? It should be 100 to 200 feet away from every wetland. because that's the Wetland Protection Act in Massachusetts. So if a pipe bursts, it's going to end up in the river. My concern is pollution, the water being polluted, the air being polluted, because methane has natural gases that have to be let out or it will blow up. And that's what the compressors are for. And the only way to see those phantom emissions of coming out from the gas is with a special camera, and they're constantly coming out. Not just for a couple of hours every day. Constantly you have methane coming out of those pipes all day and all night. People are going to have that in their air, it's going to end up in the water, and it's going to be polluted. And I, for one, don't want to see our forests and wetlands ruined. I want to be able to drink my water without worrying about gas being in it.
Okay, my name is John Savasco. I'm a member of the Northfield Energy Committee, and my family's opposed to this pipeline and to the compressor station, the 80,000 horsepower compressor station that they want to place in Northfield. This is an environmental disaster. I will be living near the compressor station. Many of my neighbors and my co-workers at work have land bordering the proposed compressor station and pipeline site. Their property values are at risk. They won't be able to sell their homes. The compressor station is 80,000 horsepower. It will be venting 2 hours every day, the sound of a jet plane landing for 2 hours. They will be venting natural gas 24/7. You will not be able to see the natural gas with the naked eye. You'll have to look through an infrared camera. This gas could contaminate our water supply in Northfield. It could blow over the Connecticut River into adjoining communities in Vermont and Massachusetts. We must fight to defeat this. We do not need the pipeline. There's enough gas escaping the pipeline system in the city of Boston. If that was capped, that's $90 million worth of gas a year. They could store that gas, no problem. We do not need the pipeline. This is not about our community. They're making us pay for it. Most of this natural gas will go out of the country. So I'm really asking the citizens of Northfield to attend the showing of the compressor station at Northfield Elementary School on Wednesday, February 25th at 7 p.m. in the cafeteria. Come see what this compressor station is like, and you will not want it in our community, and you will not want the pipeline. Thank you very much.
I'm Sarah Linda LaBrose. And I'm Juliana LaBrose. We're from Plainfield, Massachusetts, and the pipeline is kind of scheduled to possibly come right through Plainfield. My granddaughter lives in Winchester, New Hampshire, where the pipeline is also scheduled to come through, and regardless of whether it was coming through areas that affect me and my family, my concern is this is the wrong direction for our nation, our world to be taking. This is a time where we should be using renewable energy and not building more infrastructure for something that's not renewable. There may be a while where we still have to use non-renewable energy, but we certainly should not be building more infrastructure. And this particular infrastructure is damaging to the land and the people in many, many areas. So even if you don't believe that the pipeline might explode near you, or that a compressor station near you would be a problem, even if they reroute it so it's not through somebody's farmland, we still have an issue that we are building a pipeline here that will then allow more demand for the destruction of land and the destruction of people. And it's not just even the fracking, it's the way they get the sand in Michigan to use to do the fracking is harmful. It's just disastrous for people's lives, and it's disastrous for our land, and it's not the way to go. And I don't know what to say. Anything else?
Nope. You said it all.
Hi, this is Lynn Waldron. I live in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and I have a number of objections to the pipeline. I've been reading Naomi Klein's book, This Changes Everything, and the use of water in fracking is unconscionable, horrific. It's taking a resource we already don't have enough of and poisoning it. So basically the water that's used in fracking becomes radioactive and toxic and can't be used again. And then they go and inject it back down into the ground. So that's going to contaminate aquifers. And I think supporting a pipeline means you're supporting the increased production of natural gas via fracking. So I'm opposed to anything that's going to encourage the fracking of natural gas anywhere. So this pipeline just almost gives permission to do more fracking.
Hey, my name is Nina Keller. I'm the chair of the Wendell Board of Health. I am completely opposed to this pipeline. I know it is not going to be built. The turnout at every meeting and hearing I've been to has been indicative of public opinion. Very few people want it unless they're hired and wearing bright blue shirts like they are here tonight, the Kinder Morgan people. I'm concerned about our groundwater. Well, the moral responsibility of allowing fracked gas, which has polluted groundwater in other parts of the country, allowing that to come through our region is immoral, and we're just opposed to that. Besides, the compressor stations have constant emissions, and every town will be responsible to pay for any accident, evacuation, fires, explosions, and there's no recompense. So, as Board of Health, it's our responsibility to say no to anything that might be impacting the safety of our water.
Hi, my name is Walter Jaworski. I'm from Northfield, Massachusetts, and I'm here to get some information about the pipeline, although I've already done a lot of research myself on it, and at one time it was supposed to go through my property and now isn't. But I'm still very much against the pipeline for many reasons. I think the most important one is it's probably not necessary. That there's been lots of studies by people showing that we don't really need that much gas in this area in New England, and that there's other ways of getting our energy needs, maybe by even expanding other pipelines that are already here and not building a new one that goes through lots of conservation land and impacts lots of communities that aren't impacted at this point. And and I am in Northfield, and they are proposing a compressor station for us, and that I have some real concerns about off-gassing and noise pollution and light and just disruption of our really nice community, and having a big compressor station in it. So again, I'm very much against the pipeline and hope that we can stop it from being built.
Hi, Addie. My name is Linda Ponoan. I live in Brattleboro, Vermont. I'm here because I care about Mother Earth, and I feel it's a sacred duty, not just economic adventure that these people are having. I don't know, I'm very concerned about all the accidents that have occurred in the last month, to emphasize the negativity of this venture. And I care about my children and my grandchildren and your grandchildren.
Prima Loeb, I'm from Plainfield, and I hope with all my heart that this pipeline never happens. I have seen pipelines in other places. I've seen compressor stations. I have a friend in Windsor, New York, who daily lives with that nightmare, 24/7 sound and the horrible methane smell, and heaven knows what else he's breathing there. I have friends in Dimmock, Pennsylvania, where this gas comes from. They can't live in their homes, and yet they can't move. They're stuck. They have no clean water to drink, no good air to breathe. They can't have their grandchildren come to visit. This is a crime. These pipelines, this infrastructure, this drilling is a crime at this point. We don't need it. solar and wind need to draw all of our attention, and our extra funds, whatever the state has, should be put into Cape Wind, should be put into solar, and we don't need this gas. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lynn Rose. I'm the Hazardous Waste Coordinator for the town of Deerfield, Massachusetts. I'm going to show you a map you may not be able to see up close, but my concern, other than the fact that I live here, is that there's a 150-acre railroad yard here that has at least 12 hazardous waste sites, some open, some closed. The aquifer there is contaminated with chlorinated solvents. The semi-productive aquifer underneath. There's also contaminated soil throughout that we've been working to clean up. There's underground utilities that if there was an explosion, if you can see the rail yard ends right where the pipeline is going to cross it. So if there's any underground explosion with vibration that would break up any of the bedrock, disturb the soil, the utilities, the contamination at that site would have much more potential to be discharged into the environment. So the 20 years I've been working to clean that up, we could have a far more severe problem. Also, you should understand that hazardous materials come through the yard on a regular basis as part of interstate transport. So if there was an explosion there, it could disturb and release hazardous materials not only into the air and the soil and the groundwater, but this is the Connecticut River right here. And in the Connecticut River, there is the only federally endangered sturgeon right here. And we've been able to do the work, some of the work at the rail yard due to the presence of this endangered species that spawns right here. So this pipeline, located where it located, has the potential to cause much more impacts than we already have. So thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Dorothy McIver, and I live here in Greenfield. And I'm here tonight because I am totally opposed to this pipeline that they're trying to put through our beautiful area here. I am very concerned about our environment. I'm very concerned about what we're leaving for future generations. And I feel this is totally the wrong thing, that we should be focusing on renewables, that there's no reason why money couldn't be put into having solar panels on every building, every business, developing a form of wind power that is not going to be as inconvenient for people that are living right next to it, but that there is a way to get around this, and that maybe we do need a little bit of natural gas during this transition time. But it's really clear that all this gas is not going to be coming just to us. We're going to be paying for this, and it's going to be exported. And there's the amount of fracked gas that they want to run through here is just way beyond what anybody here would need. And we're not being given the truth. And I just feel like we really need to take a stand, and that we're doing this for future generations, that the land is sacred. The people who live here have a right to have their environment be safe, have their water be safe to drink, not have pollution, and we don't need this. The scale is way out of proportion to what they're saying. So I'm in support of all the communities around here who are having to deal with this and are facing the loss of their property. The lands that are under conservation restrictions, the animal habitats are going to be destroyed. It's just totally unnecessary. So, thank you.
Hi, my name's Catherine McKay. I'm a Deerfield resident. I moved to Deerfield 2 years ago, and I've been so impressed with the beauty of the natural beauty of the area. It's pretty distressing to think of the pipeline coming in and taking over people's property and disrupting that beauty. What really bothers me about it is that it doesn't seem to be really of any benefit at all to the residents of these towns, but the whole thing seems to be driven by corporate profit that will be made probably with foreign sales and not for the benefit of the residents who are taking the hit on their property values. My husband and I looked at a property recently. We were very interested in the house, and when the realtor told us that there was a very high likelihood a pipeline would be coming immediately adjacent to the property, we decided on the spot that we would not purchase the home. So there really is a true impact in the value of people's property, and I think it's just too big of a personal sacrifice to ask for the residents of these towns to make for someone else to profit.
My name is Susan Wargaftik. I live in Greenfield. I came here to see if I could find out specifics about what Kinder Morgan had planned. I have talked to 5 or 6 people of the official nature in the blue shirts, and not only do I get contradictory answers, but when I do get an answer, it's so vague that it's meaningless. And so I am very dissatisfied with the information that we're getting here, because we're not getting information that is actually useful to be able to, for anyone to make a decision.
My name's Brielle Gibson. I'm a senior at Mohawk Trail Regional High School.
My name is Sequoia LeBrew. I'm a junior at Mohawk.
I'm Zach Arfa, and I'm also a junior in Mohawk. So we're here. Sequoia and I started an organization called NIAB, not in anyone's backyard, to fight the pipeline. And the reason we're passionate about it personally, is because as a youth, people are calling natural gas the bridge between fossil fuels and renewables, when in reality, natural gas is yet another fossil fuel that we'd be chained to for the next 30 years. And so it's really important that we stop this and all natural gas production and really shift into renewable energy to really help our planet.
Hello, I'm Nancy Hazard. I'm with Greenfield, Massachusetts, and I came to the open house because I've been advocating for renewable energy for probably 30 or 40 years now, and it's really time to invest all the money that we have in renewable energy systems and to stop investing in anything that supports a fossil fuel future. So just that really big picture point of view that it's just time to stop investing. The tricky part is that most of the pipeline thing is driven not by government, but it's driven by business. And so stopping it is very challenging for that reason.
Hello, I'm Jed Prujansky from Northfield. I'm a selectman in Northfield, and I came here to talk to my fellow citizens from my town and around the county and beyond to help organize and discuss how we can respond to the pipeline. We see the pipeline as something that is not good for the town of Northfield, not good for Massachusetts, not good for Pennsylvania, not good for anyone except Kinder Morgan. It's a pipeline that will make them a lot of money, that will ruin great parts of our town and other towns, and will basically be selling off our energy to foreign companies for profit when we could better use the energy here if needed in the future. We would much rather see them take this money and put it to energy conservation, alternative sources of energy that could be profitable for Kinder Morgan. And while it might not be in their current wheelhouse, it's certainly something that in the long term would benefit them. What they're proposing now will only hurt us. So I'm trying to talk to people and encourage them to do whatever they can to prevent Kinder Morgan from building the pipeline.
Hi, my name is Amanda Lewis, and I'm from the town of Northfield. And my house is located 200 feet, or my property line is located 200 feet within the survey buffer. So I have been contacted by Kinder Morgan through the first initial letter, and then also a representative came out to my house this past weekend. I wasn't at home, but he left a brochure, and then I gave him a call with some questions. One of my questions was, how much off the power line would the trees be cut? And he told me that the pipeline would actually be located 5 feet off the tree line, off the power line, 5 feet into the tree line, and then there would be another 25 feet of trees to be cut down in order to install the pipeline. He didn't tell me about any temporary cutting down of trees, he just told me those facts. I have since learned, in walking around here, several different stories on what amount of footage would actually be cut down. And what I finally got from the boss is that anywhere from 150 feet could be cut if the pipeline is decided to be located completely off the power line. to it being located on the power line. And my disappointment and concern is that representatives are going out and telling people one thing, and they're telling us the best case scenario. And they're being terribly inconsistent with that because that might not happen. And they're asking us to sign for a survey and allow a survey on our land based on that best case scenario. And they're withholding information from us. And it's very disappointing. I've also learned about the jobs. And I was told that there would be 6,000 jobs within the 2017-2018 construction period, and that of those jobs, 25% would be local. They're considering 25% to be from the construction where it begins in Pennsylvania to where it ends in New Hampshire, Massachusetts area. And I asked them, would the jobs be considered local in terms of hiring people along the line as you go? And he said no, they would just hire one crew in the beginning and it would follow the line all the way. So 25% of 6,000 is 2,000. And then the actual amount of people that would be, I actually was thinking how many towns are between Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. And if there's, 1,000 towns, we're talking, and you divide that by 2,000, then you're going to get a really small number of people who are actually employed per town in the local area. So I find that number is very misleading as well. That's all I have to say. That's what I learned today.
My name is Polly Ryan. I'm from Plainfield, Massachusetts. This is my daughter, Leanne Ryan, and my granddaughter, Nirvana. And over there is my granddaughter, Nevaeh. And we're here today because we want to get answers from Kinder Morgan. I happen to be an affected landowner in that the gas pipeline is going to go through my property. And in addition to that, a compressor station might be less than a mile from my house. So far, the types of questions that I've asked, nobody here has been able to answer. I've been concerned about health, safety, and I also want to know how I'll be compensated for having my land taken by eminent domain. None of those things really have been able to be answered. I'm going to continue coming to open houses until I get an answer. There was one gentleman here today that said, they would have those answers further on down the line. And I don't really understand why these open houses are even being held if the answers aren't available now or if they don't know them. And that's why my daughter designed this t-shirt for me. And on the back, it says, what does it say, Leanne? On the back it says,
my kid's future is on the line.
Yesterday at the open house, there were some union people who said their jobs were on the line. I understand that people are concerned about their jobs, but I'm actually concerned about their health, their safety, and their future inheritance, which is the property we own.